Hi guys, it's dark. Sorry for the lack of sunlight. It was a busy day, and what are you going to do? This is when I had the stuff to record the video. Today is March 24th, 2018, and it is the day of the March for Our Lives. That was organized by students pretty much from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, and hundreds of thousands of people were marching in Washington, D.C., tens of thousands in other cities. Right here in North Texas, there were an estimated 5,000 in Dallas, another large number in Fort Worth. I haven't really seen the estimates on that. And I kind of, there was the student walkout on March 14th, and I mentioned that in a previous vlog about how conservatives balked at that and said, oh no, this is staged, they're making the kids do this. Well, and it's Saturday, they can't be making kids do anything today. And so that's not what I'm seeing. But it frustrates me when point of view isn't taken into consideration. I've got 2 points on this. First off, on my social media feed, I see some of my conservative friends posting things, exasperated things about these kids saying, if you're not for gun control, you're for death. That kind of stuff. 2 points I want to make on this. Number one, my conservative friends aren't understanding the point of view of the kid. The kid is now viewing themselves as a target. These shootings in these schools keep happening, and nothing is being done about gun control because the perception is, to these kids, that people care more about their guns than they do about these kids' lives. And so that's where that point of view comes from. If you're not for gun control, you're for death. That's where that point of view comes from. The other thing, I totally forgot, so I'll just move on. I see tweets. There's a tweet from Tommy Lahren criticizing the marches, saying, why are you keep protesting against the NRA? You never protest against something. You should march for something. Totally forgetting the fact that it was the March for Our Lives. That's what the name of it was. I wish I could remember what my other point was, but it's late. It's been a long day. The other main topic that I wanted to focus on today is maybe us on the left, we got to look at the right's point of view on this just a little bit. I wasn't aware of this because it hadn't been getting the news, but there was a counter-protest on social media today that was on the hashtag #WhyICarry, hashtag #WhyICarry. And it's supposed to be going on for gun advocates on social media and any type of social media platform. Tell your story of why you carry your firearm. And so I pulled it up and I searched this. Not just today. It's supposed to be from the 23rd to the 25th. We'll do 3 days of this in response to this one-day march, right? And first thing that I noticed is that a very large percentage, not half, not most, not the majority, but a very large percentage, like at least 1 out of 3 of the posts that I found with this hashtag #WhyICarry were gun stores, gun magazines, or gun manufacturers. These are all people whose bottom line they're thinking about. So, I mean, that's just business. Now, there are a lot of people who are in those businesses that are true gun believers because the United States has gotten into, I don't even think you can call it a culture of guns anymore. You have to call it a religion of guns. Is how so far it gets, but I digress. So about a third of them were from gun stores, gun manufacturers, gun publications. The rest were made up of a small number that said, it's my constitutional right, Second Amendment forever, blah, 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 blah. And, I've already posted my thoughts on how we can disagree on the interpretation of the Second Amendment, on how they'll say shall not be infringed, and I'll say well-regulated militia, and we're never going to see eye to eye. But the majority, way over half, And even some of those that were the gun shops and the gun magazines were saying this, that why I carry, they're saying for personal protection, to protect my loved ones. Nobody loves my people more than I do, and I'm the best person to protect them. And they just came, personal protection, I want to protect myself, personal protection, I want to protect myself when I'm out. And it made me realize two things that we need to understand from our point of view, from the lefty side point of view. Is these conservatives and these gun nuts, they're terrified. They're scared of just life. It's fear that makes them want to carry this gun. Because all the things that the vast majority, almost all of them, with the exceptions of the ones who said Second Amendment, said why I carry was personal protection, to protect myself, to protect my loved ones, that somebody's going to jump them. So they're scared. So we got to have some sympathy for the scared people. Convince, hey, it's not that bad. You know, that kind of thing. But here's the other thing. The hashtag is why I carry. And when it's talking about carrying a firearm, concealed carry, a license to carry here in Texas, what used to be called a concealed handgun license or is now a license to carry. People talk about on these gun boards about this pistol is my daily carry. They're talking about handguns. Why I carry, the vast majority of the time when people talk about, when they use the word carry, referring to a firearm, they're talking about a handgun, a pistol, or a revolver. They're not talking about an AR-15. And here's the thing, the March for Our Lives, they're wanting some common sense gun reforms. Get rid of bump stocks. Let's have universal background checks. Let's make sure that mentally ill people can't get their hands on a firearm and domestic abusers can't buy new firearms. Or maybe we install a waiting period. I have not heard anyone even talk about extra regulation on a handgun other than limiting the magazine capacity to 10 rounds. That's it. Nobody's saying you can't carry. I mean, yeah, I don't like the idea of people walking around Walmart with a pistol on their hip, which is legal in Texas if they've got a license for it. But nobody's saying get rid of the license to carry laws. Nobody's saying ban the pistols. Nobody, and no one, and can we say this 10 times super loud for the people in the back that refuse to listen? No one is saying, give me your guns, let the government take your guns. No one is saying that. Yet they still make this argument because of their inherent fear. Any gun regulation means you're coming for my gun. It's a slippery slope. You're going to come down. You're going to come after my gun next. I'll let you go after Bubba's AR-15, then you're going to come after mine. And it all boils back down to that fear. But number one, they're not protesting what you're carrying. You're saying why I carry is a protest. You're countering an argument with an argument that's not related. You're countering an argument with an argument that's not relevant to the discussion at hand. These kids are protesting, and the adults are protesting with them because they're sick and tired. And I wish I could have gone. I really do. I wish I could have gone to my local march. I just had too many other commitments today to other people, and it didn't happen. But I support the people that did, and good on you. But they were protesting the fact that these mass shooting events keep happening and nothing gets done. I mean, the closest thing that's getting done from our federal government is a ban on bump stocks, and that's related to a shooting that took place months ago. This most recent one in Florida that all the protests are about, and it's not even the most recent school shooting, but it's the one where the protests are coming from, is there wasn't a bump stock involved. That was the Las Vegas one. But nothing gets done. These things happen, nothing gets done. We're told it's not the right time. We're told don't go after the guns, only you've got to be crazy liberal to do that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and then they'll throw out their favorite word, libtard, at us again. But they're not protesting your handgun that you have a license to carry on your person, open or concealed. They're protesting the AR-15. I don't think anybody uses an AR-15 for their everyday carry. In this gun religion they'll call an EDC, everyday carry. But the EDCs refer to pistols. Pistols aren't part of this protest. They're not. But we're ingrained. The NRA gets most of their support not from members, not from the people who belong, but from gun manufacturers to try to create a need to sell more of their product. And it's the same for guy behind me has got his bright lights on, trying to lean forward so you're not getting that in the mirror. But it's not for your pistol, not for your 30-06 hunting rifle to go out deer hunting with, not for the shotgun you keep in the shed. A large number of these mass shooting incidents have created so much carnage because of the AR-15 being used as the weapon. And let's get something on that. The capacity of the magazines. The shooter in Tucson that wounded Gabrielle Giffords and killed a bunch of people, including a little kid, was using a Glock handgun. Any of the talk came out about banning the Glock handgun, but the guy had a high capacity magazine and a 9mm Glock that goes up to 33 rounds. And the standard capacity on that weapon that he was using is 17 rounds. So he was carrying an extra 16 rounds before he had to reload, and he was tackled when he was reloading. So, gee, wouldn't it make sense that if he could fire less, he'd have hurt less people, he'd have killed less people? That's where that came from. Magazine capacity. Protesting that, not stopping you from carrying. We're not trying to take away your security blanket. Maybe we should just start calling the gun your whoopee. Anyhow, we're not saying that. And I finally remembered my other point, and then I'm going to wrap up the vlog. We as lefties, liberals, progressives, Democrats, however you want to do it, we really cannot assume that everybody is going to understand what we mean when we state a cause. We say march for our lives, and conservatives think we're marching against guns, we're marching against the NRA. No, we're marching for our lives, it's what it says. We're tired of dying. We really have to use... I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to, not belittle the other side, but we're supposed to use small words so that they'll understand. And apparently march for our lives, the words are too big. But we've got to be careful. We've got to explain things with all the details when we're having these conversations. If we got to say we need some reform on gun control legislation, that's going to make them think, oh no, you're going to come and confiscate all my guns. You got to come confiscate all my guns, and that's not what we're saying. We're saying we want to have some background checks to keep crazy people from getting guns. Maybe we should say it that way. And then they can say, oh, they're coming for my guns. And you can say, well, are you a crazy person? And they'll say, no. And it's like, we're not coming for your guns. Oh, you're coming for my guns. Are you a crazy person? Yes. Okay, then yeah, we are coming for your guns. I find it interesting. I found out this past week about red flag laws, and that Indiana, one of the most Republican states in the country, has these red flag laws where if somebody through the court system or even is accused by a law enforcement entity of being a hazard to themselves and others, the police can confiscate their guns for a short period of time. They're not taking them, they're not seizing them. The chief of police that was actually being interviewed said it's a timeout, and there's a lot of states that are considering these now. That'd be a good thing. But even that, I mean, we're not taking them. It's like it's a timeout. No, you don't get to play with your toy right now. But anyway, that's my thoughts for this week. Like, comment, subscribe, spread the word, get the stuff out.